You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
What? Come on, Herb.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, how the heck are you, everybody? Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Huggin, Duggin.
Happy Friday.
It's a Friday morning, folks, and let's not forget Kyle, the coach, Duggin.
I want to start a poll that we get rid of daylight savings time. Who's in with me?
Total bullshit. I'm in.
I haven't slept
Sucks.
in a week now.
Your kids are all messed up. Yeah.
It's completely out of whack. Waking up at
Wow.
4 a.m. It's not fun. But here we are anyways. We got a game we got to talk about. I'm excited.
We do.
Screw the Vikings.
Yes.
All that stupid
Yes.
purple.
Yes,
Exactly.
It's only been a couple of days, but still lots of news to talk about. First and foremost, more accolades for our golden boy. Y'all got your phones out. Y'all got your thumbs warmed up, and you all voted for the FedEx Air Player of the Week for Week 9. Justin Herbert is the winner of this chicken dinner.
Dude, this is funny because all the previous weeks, they put the percentage.
Yeah, they
So you
didn't put
can
the percentage on this one.
Because I feel it was so embarrassing.
100. It was 100%.
It was
And we
so
called it. It was
embarrassing.
100%.
They're like, why do we even do this? We just hand it to Charger players whenever they're on here because
Right.
there's nothing that shows how bad we kicked their asses. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
It is
Smooth
intriguing
play,
that they didn't
FedEx.
put the percentage, but
Yeah. good try there. We're not going anywhere.
not anytime soon. Justin Herbert, congratulations. The fans voted for you, and then that was not enough. Justin Herbert was also named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week after his performance in Philadelphia. Congratulations,
Congrats.
sir. I don't know who votes for the AFC Offensive Player of the Week or who makes that decision. Somebody does.
Santa Claus.
There you go. Santa Claus.
Yeah,
makes
but he
the-
works at the NFL office during off season. So.
Yeah, some schmo
Stay
makes
busy.
a decision on who the AFC Offensive Player of the Week is, and this week it was Justin Herbert after his performance, and this is his first time winning Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah,
So-
for the AFC. Yeah, it's new accolades. Like every time, every week, every game, there's a new accolade for him. So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so much for that sophomore slump. He's got to win Offensive Player of the Week in his sophomore year.
He didn't
And-
put on that freshman 15. He's
Yeah,
good.
for real.
He's looking good.
And also found out some interesting facts about Justin Herbert. For the quarterbacks that are under 25 years old with game-winning drives, at the top is Josh Allen winning 11, but he did that in 52 games. Patrick Mahomes won 9 in 55 games. Lamar Jackson 8 in 54 games. Justin Herbert has had 7 game-winning drives in only 22 games. And tied with him is
It's like-
Kyler Murray, who had 7 as well, but he did it in 40 games.
Every third game, he has a game-winning drive.
This
Uh-huh.
is sweet. This is
like
good
it.
for us guys.
Very nice.
Very
Well,
nice. Yes.
Yeah.
More game-winning drives in less games for quarterbacks under 25 years old. So that is extremely impressive. Justin Herbert just continues to be the player that we can all look up to and really just hang our hat on for this guy because he's everything. He's
Just-
everything we wanted in a quarterback.
Just know that if we're, down at the end of the game and it's a one possession game, the odds are pretty good he's going to be able to do something for us.
Exactly. Yes.
So he's just setting the tone for what his career will be. And so far, so good, man. 7 in 22 games. Like, what is that? It's a quarter of the games he's played in. He's come back and won.
yeah,
That's crazy.
every third game.
It's like
yeah.
a third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third. Yeah. Sorry, math.
It's all right. It's
not
all
my
right.
thing.
Yeah, math's not your thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's
not-
okay.
Yeah.
Going over to Twitter, there's more accolades to be handed out, or at least shining light on some players that did quite well in Week 9. Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen led the team with a season-high 12 receptions for 104 yards. This was his 9th career game with 12 or more catches and 100 or more yards receiving, the most all time. All time.
Wow.
9 games with 12 or more catches and over 100 receiving yards. There is no player that has more.
He just works, dude. Because most of the time, people can have over 100 yards, but they're on like 5 catches, 6 catches, some
just
bombs,
catching
like
deep bombs. Yeah,
that's how you get it. He's doing all of his work in those intermediate routes and putting up 12 receptions for over 100 yards 9 times, and now he's most all time is pretty awesome.
12 catches is a lot for one game. To be targeted 12 times is a lot for one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had some serious fantasy value in PPR leagues this last week.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to call him Old Reliable, but that was what we referred to Antonio Gates as when he was around. So we got to think of another nickname for Keenan. I know he goes by Slayer, but there's got to be something to show off just how reliable he is and how much of an impact he has on some of these games. 12 or more catches, over 100 receiving yards. That's a go-to guy. That's
Slay's payday.
It's a lot of syllables. I'm not.
I didn't know you had a syllable quota. We needed to not.
You got old, reliable. You've got
old, reliable. That's 5.
I think you're adding more syllables in there.
Reliable. There's 5 syllables in there. How dare you? Get off my ass. Move on.
Let's move on.
We could have just said we don't like that nickname. It's not about the syllable.
You're gonna smash me for my syllable usage.
And not giving him a
trying to soften the blow here. I'm trying to come up with like something that doesn't hurt quite as much.
Slay pay day. That's 4. That's 1 less than yours.
All right, Daniel Popper over on Twitter tweeted out.
All right, we don't like the nickname. Moving on.
Daniel Popper tweeted, Kenneth Murray was working with the edge rushers during individual drills today. Brandon Staley said plan is to give Murray snaps on the edge, either at edge rusher or in a hybrid role once he is activated off IR.
I'm excited for this.
I listened to this was from his interview after Tuesday practice. It's pretty crazy, like the amount that they thought forward into the future and were willing to stick to the plan. Because he talked about how the second they came in, he got the job as the Chargers coach and he evaluated the roster. He knew that Kenneth Murray would become an edge guy, but he didn't want to throw him into a brand new defense. He didn't know how to play his initial position and then add more on top of that to confuse the guy. So, but what I've seen a lot in coaching is you can have this grand plan, but when fit starts to hit the shan, you just immediately change everything. You know, like, I had this grand plan, but I need to win right now. So let's put him at edge week 2. We got it. Or you lose to Dallas. You see what Micah Parsons did. All right, let's do that right now. But coach had the patience to be like, no, we're playing the long game. Kenneth's going to be a force for a long time. Let's make sure he's comfortable in the position that he's in. And it sounds like while he's been on IR, they've just been looking at film and really talking through and looking at what his new position will look like and how to take advantage. So, I'm super excited. I'm hoping that they activate him here Sunday and then he's able to get after it. It would be fun.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers 100% crossed.
Saw him walking out. You know how they do the Instagram where they get the players all walking out on the fields. He's looking good. Didn't see anything on his ankle, nothing taped up, but just in terms of walking, I think he's ready to start.
He's got a good stride.
Strong walk.
Strong walk. He had a swagger. He was walking like he's going to get ready to walk hard. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Oh. Like
walking hard.
What was that
Kenneth
movie?
Murray.
Walk Hard.
Yeah,
walk hard.
Walk hard. That would be interesting to see because I feel like I've seen other people say that like that was one of his big things in college was being kind of a bit of a hybrid role and doing some edge rushing in college. So if they can implement that back into this game and utilize that, I mean, Brandon Staley has talked about having guys that can play multiple positions. So getting Kenneth Murray prior to his tenure for Staley and now just having that guy right off the bat that can possibly play that hybrid role has got to be pretty exciting for Staley to utilize it. So hopefully, yes, we get to see him come back this Sunday. Looking at the injury report, that's probably been the longest it's been since the start of the season. Nasir Adderley listed on there. This is as of Wednesday, by the way. Nasir Adderley with an ankle injury did not practice. I believe, though, I saw a tweet from Fernando saying that he was just dealing with some soreness.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's all that is. Keenan Allen on there with a knee injury, did not practice. Again, got to hope that this is just veteran status. You know what? Sore knee, don't need to practice, buddy. Steven Anderson on there with an ankle injury, but he practiced in full. Michael Davis, hamstring injury, did not practice. Saw the tweet recently that it's looking like probably at least another week, maybe potentially more.
That's what coach said, is that it doesn't look like Michael Davis. It's what he's done all year, this year so far, is that he's just really conservative with the amount of time before he rushes players back. So,
right.
We'll see what happens. I think as long as we get one of the two back this week, I think it's still an upgrade.
Mm-hmm. And I trust Staley when he says that, potentially, at least a week, if not more, as opposed to these previous injuries that we've had from players that they're like, yep, hope to get him back. And there's this consistent hope that like when Michael Badgley was dealing with his injury, it's like, okay, maybe he'll come back. And then it was like 6 weeks later, like, oh, okay, well, I guess now he'll come back or something like that. There was only a handful of games left to play. Alohi Gilman on that injury as well with the ankle injury. He had limited snaps. Justin Jackson still.
And coach did say Alohi's probably going to be ready to go on Sunday.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't hear that. Justin Jackson, quadricep, still not practicing. Trey Marshall with his ankle injury, limited. Asante Samuel with his concussion injury is back practicing in full. Hooray.
Hercules.
We need him
Gotta get him back out there.
Yeah. And Ryan Smith with his knee, and I mean, it's listed as a knee, but we all know it's the torn ACL.
Yeah. I'm just curious why he's on here.
They just haven't shifted him to the IR yet.
Got it.
Yeah,
is it that long of a process, you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because tearing the ACL, that's a season-ending injury, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time. At this point in the season, yeah.
I was going to say, like, if this happened week 1, that might be different. Yeah. And who was not on this injury list, but Instagrammed an injury of his own, Austin Eckler appears to have a broken finger.
Maybe it was like maybe it was one of his gaming injuries.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
lost the controller.
A little too hard.
No, but I remember him coming off the sideline. Do you remember that in watching the game? That he went over to the sideline and the guy, it looked like he was trying to pop it back. He was
like holding his hand or something like that.
Yeah, it was this.
All right.
So, looks like his left hand. Maybe he holds the ball with the Charger claw on the right more.
Right.
But yeah, that's not good. Well, it's like pinkies. It's like, wasn't there a player that got his shit like cut off or something? There was some crazy NFL story where they're like, it's really bad. Am I making this up?
I don't know.
I feel like
I've not heard of this.
Depths of my brain. This is like the 70s, though, back when men were men. You know what I mean? Like, just take it off.
I was going to say, I know Jason Pierre-Paul had his fingers blown off, but
that's a different
situation. So.
Yeah, that was a different situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure, folks. If you recall a player getting a finger...
I got it. Here we go.
Oh, never mind.
Ronnie Lott was one of those tough guys. All the proof you need is that he once amputated his pinky because he wanted to avoid missing games.
That's what I'm talking about.
The former 49ers
it off.
49ers safety, he broke his pinky finger trying to tackle, and he didn't want to miss any games with a broken finger, so they chopped it off. I don't know if this is true, but it popped up on Google right when I looked at it.
Wow, I think that's where it was in my brain. I remember reading something like that, being like, "Whoa, bro!"
Whoa.
So pinkies aren't a thing in the NFL. Apparently, you can tape it up and get back out there.
You just get rid of it, and
who needs it?
Yeah.
Right?
We'll see. We'll have to count Austin Eckler's fingers when he hits the field on Sunday, see if he decided to get rid of it or not. Wow. Nice. All right, folks, and now it's time to talk about our sponsor this week, Symbol. Symbol is the stock market for sports that allows you to profit off your sports knowledge. On Symbol, you can trade sports teams like stocks, and every time your teams win, you earn cash. Use your sports knowledge on Symbol to buy low, sell high, and earn cash payouts when your teams win. Join the 7,000 plus early adopters who have started to invest in their favorite teams. Visit www.symbol.com. That's www.simbull.com to create a free account. And when you deposit, make sure to use the promo code ChargerChat, all one word, for a money-back guarantee. That's symbol.com using the promo code ChargerChat, all one word, and your deposit will have a money-back guarantee up to $500. That means even if you lose money in the first 90 days, Symbol will refund your initial deposit, no questions asked. Join Symbol and start investing and profiting from your favorite teams. Okay, folks. Well, now it's time to look at our next opponent, the Minnesota Vikings. And just recently, anybody that's been paying attention to the news has seen a lot going on with the Minnesota Vikings, unfortunately. Outside of the whole Dalvin Cook situation, apparently a vaccinated Minnesota Vikings player was hospitalized, and 29 members of the organization are in the COVID-19 protocol as close contacts, head coach Mike Zimmer said on Wednesday. So,
yikes, that's a lot.
That is a lot of players. Initially, they weren't saying who the player was, but I guess it was a lineman that was the person who ended up, or the player, I should say, that ended up in the hospital. So, yeah, that's not good.
And he's in stable condition, so that's good. So
that is good to hear, yes.
It's just scary to hear that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is, I don't think, somebody texted me something. It was like, there hasn't been a forfeiture in an NFL game before. Somebody, did you say
that was me? Yeah. Because I when I saw this, they were talking about like the possibility of a forfeit. And in my mind, I was like, well, when was the last time a game ever got forfeited in the NFL? And
like
apparently
World War II.
Yeah. It hasn't happened. Like the only times
World
that
went to
happened,
war, everyone forfeited.
it was in like, there was in the 20s and 30s, like the early stages of the NFL, which was probably more like the AFL, like teams could like cancel games without necessarily getting penalized for it, because of either weather or not having enough players or whatever the situation was. It was just like, yeah, it's not looking like a good day to play football, so why don't we cancel it and we'll try again.
Talking like 20s and 30s.
Exactly, level. In the 20s and 30s. So nowadays, like, shit's set in stone, and they're not changing schedules because of COVID. Yeah. So I doubt all 29 players are going to be unable to play come Sunday, but that's a lot of people to be concerned about. Because I mean, even with these all 29 players, who knows how many of them were vaccinated, and the potential, because I mean, that's the thing, is like, as they stated in the COVID protocols, like vaccinated players can only, they could potentially just miss 1-2 days.
It's like 48 hours or 72 hours
you have
for
to,
two negative
two
tests.
negative tests. Yeah,
right. They got to produce 2 negative tests, but it's just a couple days. Whereas the unvaccinated players, it's like what, a week? Yeah, 10 days.
10 days.
Well, and it's interesting because the Vikings, apparently, from what I've read, I believe this is correct, is they have one of the lowest vaccination rates on their entire team of all the NFL teams.
Going into the season, they were at like a 70% vaccinated rate. So that, and on a 50-person team, that leaves a good 20 people or 15 people that are not vaccinated. And if any one of those guys gets it, they're out for 10 days. They're missing the game.
Right.
That's crazy. So
one of those guys, Harrison Smith, strong safety, missed the Vikings' last game after testing positive for COVID, and due to not being vaccinated, he is ruled out for the game against the Chargers. So,
and he's one of their staples in that defense.
Yeah.
Like, he's always an issue. I remember when we used to play fantasy football, like I would, we would have DBs. We would, for a couple seasons we did that, and I'd always pick him up because he'd have insane amount of tackles. So,
he was productive.
Yeah, I don't want to say that there's some element of karma for Aaron Rodgers not playing against the Chiefs, but maybe there's like a little weird world where there's some of these players
coming
might not
back
play against
to the
us.
Chargers.
Just saying, just the weird. I don't want anyone to be sick. I'm just saying there's something out there.
Something's tipping the karmic scale.
Yeah,
or the NFL caught news of us catching on to them. We talked about it in the last episode, how we're catching on to what they're doing here.
Oh shit, we got
like, oh shoot,
yeah,
mayday.
Code red,
give everyone COVID.
Yeah, red alert.
And who was the other guy that is potentially missing time? You were just looking up
Patrick Peterson,
Danielle.
Oh yeah, Danielle. Don't mispronounce
Captain and Danielle.
Danielle. Yeah. Danielle Hunter. He was placed on IR, and Patrick Peterson's been on IR now for a couple of weeks. So they got a lot of, almost every level of their defense. They're missing some big time players, which I don't know. Like, obviously, you can still get wins in the NFL without your studs. We're in the same exact position with our corners. But yeah, it's going to be a tough look for the Vikings, I think, trying to slow down our passing attack.
We will see. Looking at some of their previous games, the Vikings initially played the Bengals week 1, just barely lost. Played against the Cardinals, barely lost even more. Finally beat the Seahawks in week 3, lost to the Browns, and beat the Lions. Obviously, everybody's beating the Lions.
I remember that was a close one. That was like a last-second field goal.
It's another close one, yeah.
17.
2-point game. Then they beat the Carolina Panthers and then lost to the Cowboys and just most recently lost to the Baltimore Ravens, 3-point game. And that was an overtime game too. Actually, let's see, two overtime games. Yeah.
So they're in these games until the end. I'm looking at all these box scores. All these games are close. Like they clearly are coached well over there and they're not giving up. Like there's not any of that going on. So I think it's going to be a tough test for sure. And hopefully defense steps up in the secondary. Run defense is better than it was in previous weeks. And then Herbert, gets nominated for all the awards after.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like obviously it seems like every week we're like, oh, but this team has a good rushing attack. Oh no, but this team has a good rushing attack. Every team has a good rushing attack. So it's just, it's just, and it's just pretty much in the NFL, every team has an ability to run the ball.
Right. They've got to have at least one guy that can do it.
Yeah. And when you face us, that's what they're going to go to. So
I find it interesting this season, like the pillagers of the league, the Raiders and the Vikings are having difficulty off field. It's just an odd year for pillagers and it's not good.
Yeah, boy, the Raiders. I mean, anybody that's seen
more shit show over there.
What like the graphic of them having their 2020 draft being the worst draft in history. Like they only have like one player out of their entire draft class that of 2020. Like not from like a few years ago. Like we all lost, a lot of the players from that one draft. They just lost just about all of their players.
It's like one starter
a year ago
from their whole thing. Yeah. And then when you think about Tommy T, he does draft character guys. We're not dealing with any of this stuff.
Nope.
So that's, if you want to look at his drafting, we can give him that star for that.
Absolutely. We're not going to lose players to off-field issues. Well, folks, don't forget to go on over to chargerchat.com. Check out some of the sweet merch that we have over there. And we've also got a members-only section. So if you head on over there, you can chat it up with other members on the chargerchat.com website. And we've added a few items to our store. Kevin just told me we added a new sweater because it's winter, folks. Winter is coming. And we've got new sweaters over there. So go over there, check it out, chargerchat.com. All right, folks. Well, now it's time for the next segment. It is Coach's Corner. What is Coach cooking up in his corner? Let's smell what it is.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
straight up.
And we shut them down because we can.
Because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. Well, now it is time to get into Coach's Corner. Coach, what's going on in that corner over there? What are you hiding?
Yeah, I wanted to look at kind of a deep dive on Donald Parham. Bigger than that too, looking at the impact, obviously, of the tight ends on the game. Yes, Adam, did you have something to
I just wanted to point out, as I heard you say it, he just recently tweeted out, it's Parham. The pronunciation, it's not Parham, it's Parham. And he's like, that is the tweet. So I think he just wanted
golf and a sandwich.
Yeah, he just wanted to correct everybody. It's Parham. Emphasis on the ham. So
sorry,
Moon's
Donald.
over Parhammy. Here we go.
Sorry, Donnie.
Okay, Parham. Sorry, Donnie. Yeah, so wanted to look at the impact, obviously, the tight ends had on the game, but also a little bit. I'm just going to keep going. A little bit more of a deep dive on Donald Parham. So one of the things that you can do with tight ends is manipulate defenses, right? We talked about this on our Tuesday episode. When you do different personnel, you're going to get different response from it. So in this play here that I have pulled up, we're in 12 personnel, meaning there's one running back and two tight ends. What that does is the defense now gets heavy, right? Look at all these guys in the box. They went big and heavy in the box, and it opens up what you can manipulate, whatever you want to do. this is going to be a quick hit to Keenan on the outside. We're going to bring this guy in motion, and it's going to isolate because he's going to come down, and now you have one-on-one with 7 yards off.
Nice.
So Herbert sees that, but that's because of the personnel packaging that you have. Because we have Parham, and we have Cook, and we have Anderson. We have all these pieces that we can continue to put out there, and you can run the ball. But now, look, you see the matchup. Now there's nobody out here. It's going to be one-on-one, boom, get the ball out, get it to Keenan. It's just an easy pitch and catch because you can manipulate defense with your personnel. As you can see, too, this was designed to be a run play, and that's why tight ends are so effective. These guys are linemen and receivers built into one. So this play was designed to be a run this way with, I think this is Guyton coming and lead blocking, and Eck was supposed to get the ball on like a sweep. And these guys would have been your lead blocks. Your 2 big boys would have been blocking up on corner and linebacker. So I'll roll it through and watch because this is supposed to be a run, and Herbert just sees the matchup, pulls it, and goes. Because this is supposed to be a give. Everyone's blocking for it. He just takes it and goes because you can get those matchups. They have to simplify what they're doing, go into man. You see that isolation, you're going to take the shot. It's something that having multiple tight ends allows you to manipulate defenses. It's more than just, hey, we have big guys that can catch the ball. We have big guys that can run the ball too. So you better bring out some different type of dynamic athletes on defense, and then we'll take advantage of that too. All right. And interesting little tidbit is that first series where we went all the way down and got stopped at the 1 yard line, whatever it was. Parham didn't get one play on those 4 that we had down there, which was
Donnie Parham.
It's gonna be hard to switch. Parham. You can't, when you read that name, you can't believe that that's the way it's pronounced. You're like, oh, it's Parham. There's no way that's what they actually want to be called.
Where's the comma?
It's the long lineage of Parhams.
Parham. Sorry,
go back a long way.
Donald Parham. But on that first drive when we went down and got stuck at the 1 yard line, that's a big time red zone possession, and we don't have him in there, which we looked at also on the Tuesday episode. Craig looked at the idea of him being a huge red zone target, and it was interesting to go back and watch and see. Look, he wasn't even on the field one time in that whole series. The first play down there when we got 1st and goal at like the 3, we did a quick back shoulder throw to Mike Williams. And in my head, I was like, man, what would that have looked like with Mike Williams? I'm okay with that play call. That's totally fine.
Right.
But you put Mike Williams out there, they put their best corner, and then you put Donald Parham on the other side. Like you just basically get to pick your matchup that you like.
Right.
Those guys both have very similar abilities.
Whichever one Slay was covering.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So just keeping an eye on moving forward, if we see him a little bit more in the red zone, it was interesting that he wasn't even on the field at all. This play here, this is one of his several catches on the game. I actually think it may have been a little bit of a blown in pass protection. I'll run it through one time. He's up here at the top of the screen. He's going to sit for a second and then leak out, and he's open and he catches the ball. This is he has like a 12-yard pickup, and then there's a late hit on Justin Herbert. They get a roughing the passer. I think they hit him low. But you'll see as a linebacker's coming to, or a defensive back's coming to blitz off the edge, I'm pretty sure that Parham was supposed to be staying in pass pro if this guy comes, because it's basically an unblocked man. So you watch at the top of the screen, he's going to sit there for a second. Everyone's taken. I think he missed that. You see that little hand bump that he tried to reach out and touch. Either he was supposed to get a chip, which he doesn't really get any chip, or if that guy comes, he was supposed to stay. Because the corner comes, that was lined up over Keenan. He blitzes. No one gets a hand on him. And that's like the one time that Justin got actually hit on Sunday. But it ends up being a great catch. Obviously, we've seen what Donald can do with the ball in his hands after making the catch. He's an elusive, fast guy. So he turns that. He's able to get the edge. I mean, when he catches the ball here, the defender has the angle. He has him shut off. He's upfield of him. He doesn't think that Parham is going to be able to run that fast and just get around him. So he's taking away that inside, knowing I can run with him. Donald puts on the boosters and able to get the first down. But just interesting to look at. I don't know if that was a miss, something that they're still working on, and maybe why he's not on the field as that number 2 guy. Why they have Cook on the field a lot. He's like 80% of snaps. Maybe there are some things going on there that he's still working on before he becomes more of a integral every down type of tight end. All right, next play, not a receiving play. Obviously, tight ends, we don't have to do both. This is Parham lined up here on the outside. He's technically the number one receiver in this formation. You got tight end. Again, another 12 personnel, 2 tight end set. And what I thought was interesting was his ability to block an open field. I wanted to look not only at his pass catching, but really to see. Everyone says he put an emphasis on his run blocking. I wanted to just take a look at a couple of plays because he doesn't do a whole lot of it. This is him getting into space and blocking a light-bodied DB. Now, it seems obvious, right? A tight end should be able to block a corner. Like, that's a really big size discrepancy, strength discrepancy. But you see a lot of times, man, you get into open field, the game levels out because that little guy is a lot quicker than that big guy and can usually get around him and avoid in a lot of ways. So what's interesting here is what happens is Parham gets a chip, so he helps with this block so Cook can get there. And then he moves upfield and he's going to be able to put a really, really good block and sustained block on this corner. So it's a part of his game, obviously continuing to get better. He gets a chip, gets upfield, gets on the block, sustains it, stays with it, and it turns into a big play for us. It seems like something little and insignificant, but everything that goes into that, from the timing to the keeping your shoulder square to the line of scrimmage to being able to adjust with what the DB is trying to do, it was really impressive to see that he does have all of those abilities, and he's clearly working on them.
It's so crazy how quick he is for a guy that's so tall and so big.
Right.
Well,
yeah, he looks like he should look like a baby giraffe, but he moves really smooth.
It's very smooth.
He gets out there and gets on top of him. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Another passing illustration and lining him up in a different spot. This is Parham down here lined up as basically what you would call it is the X receiver in this weird type of formation. He's isolated. This is Darius Slay, a guy that we wanted to pick on. It was weird that it seemed like that's who we wanted to go after a lot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't adjust with having a tight end out here. They just said, hey, we'll put our corner with the tight end and we'll see how it goes. A lot of the times you'll see people like we probably would have had Derwin James bump out and play over the big bodied wide receiver. But what's crazy is this Justin Herbert made this decision before the ball was snapped. He looked at the defense. He saw this on this and he said, that's where I'm going with the ball. Even with the safety over the top, that must have been decided in like coach's room and talks and watching film. If we get this matchup with Parham on Slay, that's where we're going. We're going to take the shot, see what happens. Because you'll see on this backside, Cook is going to get wide open. I mean, wide open. And he doesn't even turn. He never checks off. He gets the ball. He kind of looks to the middle of the field to hold the safety for a second. And then he goes right to Parham. It's just crazy that, come on, there we go. It's crazy that he had already made this decision. That's a lot of confidence to have in a guy that I'm just going to go like pre-snap. That's the matchup I like. That's where I'm going. You'll see it. If you watch at the top of the screen, watch Jared Cook come wide open, like right there. He's got nobody. This is wide open. He's already made his decision. He's covered by 2 guys. I'm just going to go to Parham. And it doesn't always pay off. This always pays off. But that's because Justin didn't see the blitz that was coming that really made Jared Cook get wide open on this. But it's just, he has a lot of faith in Donald Parham. He's going to go to him. So it is starting to build that chemistry that you get down in here into the red zone. I really think that this guy needs to be on the field in some capacity, even if it is spread out wide like that, even if he's playing like a Keenan type position where you like to throw those short. Like we tried that tunnel screen on 4th down, I think it was, here in the red zone. Keenan he doesn't like to hit. He's not a big body. So try that kind of stuff with him. I think it would be cool to see if that started to evolve a little bit for Parham's role. Well,
and over the middle, if he's going out, he's 6'9", his arms, just throw it 10 feet up. What guy's going to be able to contest that? He's just going to, it's like those, when you're playing with your kids on like a little basketball hoop, you're just slamming on them. Like that's easy all day long.
Yeah. Parham is 6'8". Darius Slay is 6 foot. So he's already got 8 inches on him.
Plus his insanely long arms, which
reach
are
and
average.
Jump.
Reach and jump.
Yeah.
Monster.
It's a mismatch for sure. And we just saw what happens when you get that mismatch. And looking at the final play here, this was a couple plays later. Look what they did. They put Donald Parham technically as the number 1 receiver out here. They went into a nub set. So there is no wide receiver out here. The first wide receiver is Parham. the Eagles they don't adjust anything. They just say Slay, stay there, and you have whatever the number one receiver is. So again, you have Parham on Slay, and they just love that matchup, and they wanted to attack it. So this poor guy just gets put on a highlight reel because the mismatch is just so big. He's a wide receiver running ability, but look how long. I mean, he reaches into the end zone from like the 3-yard line. It's like he could catch and just stretch Armstrong into the end zone. It's like, boom, and I'm in.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
The matchup is just so big. Having a guy that can block, which we've seen in open space. I think his ability to pass protection wise, stay in there if he needs to. It's probably a tough thing for him. I mean, that's a hard thing to do, to sit in there and diagnose blitzes and know when to stay. But his ability to run with the ball and catch the ball, I think he's the best. He's going to be the future. I was telling these guys, I think he's the heir apparent to Cook. I think we brought Cook in on a 1-year deal to have that veteran. But I think next year you're going to have a very young tight end core with Anderson, McKitty, and Donald Parham.
Yeah.
I do want to say after this coach's corner, while you guys weren't paying attention, I went into our fantasy league and I just added Parham to my roster, and he's now starting. So thank you, coach. Even though it's projected 2 points, I'm rolling with it.
They don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now, I just looked it up. Parham is tied for second on the most receiving touchdowns for the team right now. Tied with Austin Eckler, and Mike Williams is obviously number 1. So
fantasy gold.
He's second right now in receiving for touchdown magnet. So why not throw to this guy? This guy is just this guy's just literally head and shoulders above everybody else that's defending him.
That sounds like a partnership they need to get involved with. It makes total sense.
Really, like
that's
come
a sponsor
on.
that
Head
needs
and
to
shoulders,
happen.
Get on it.
Yeah,
it's not all about the hair. Sometimes it's about the height as well. So
that's about the shoulders.
Well, awesome, Coach. Thank you for taking a look at Donald Parham and
Thanks,
breaking
Coach.
down. And it's exciting to see, the potential for a guy who's only 24 years old that we nabbed from the XFL. I still can't get over that. Like an XFL player who is having pretty good success with this team, and hopefully, potentially, will continue to do so. So, thank you, Coach, for taking a look.
Of course.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we are back with another Bolt Insight, and we're super pumped to have Dan from Chargers Unleashed. What is going on, my man?
What's going on, dude? How are you? Thank you for having me. I feel honored. This is like a big deal being on this as a guest. I've seen all the folks you've had on here. I'm like, man, when am I getting my shot?
I know. I'm pumped.
Sure enough, dude, here we are.
I'm pumped, dude. It's like trading cards. I'm trying to collect everybody, and I got you. Putting you right here. So we thank you so much for joining us. We're super pumped to have you. And you know, one thing we like to find out with everyone we talk to is, you know, how you became a Charger fan. So how did you become a Charger fan?
Honestly, it's been a long time. I grew up in Southern California, so I grew up in San Diego. So I was in La Mesa area for El Cajon. So I went to school down there. And then I want to say probably like middle school was when I became a Chargers fan. And that was back when like LT, actually it was before LT, like Natron Means was with us,
nice.
Stan Humphries. And that was kind of the era, unfortunately, when you watch the Chargers get smoked by the Niners at Super Bowl. Like I remember that vividly. Yeah. And I think it was just because it was my local home team. Like I've always been a sports guy. Chargers have always been my team. And in fact, I actually moved out east for 5 years, then to the Bay Area for a few years. So I was like the only Chargers fan in New England. And I'm the only guy thinking like, okay, I wish Tom Brady wasn't here, but here we are. Moved to the Bay Area. So I'm in there with the Raiders fans, but I'm all still a Chargers fan. But honestly, I've been a diehard Chargers fan ever since I was a little kid. And I love this team, man. I remember Quentin Jammer. I mean, I remember all of them. And it's an exciting time for Chargers fans, not just because like the team's now 5-3, but like there's a culture and a character that this team has and like a hype and a buzz that I don't think I have seen since like maybe the early 2000s. And I'm not saying this team is as good as that team, but just in terms of like the national camaraderie, the national attention you're getting, and like how excited the fan base is. This is something special, man. And I'm just excited to be here, dude. I love the fact that I'm on here with you guys, Charger Chat. And honestly, my fandom has kind of just spurred from day one. I remember going to Qualcomm, watching Quentin Jammer lose to the Cowboys on a last-second touchdown in the end zone, which absolutely crippled me for a month. But dude, yeah, I love this Chargers team. Love what they're doing. Love what the whole podcast community and the fan base is up to these days. And yeah, I guess that's a long story made much longer.
No, it was good, man. Yeah, no, it's. I think that's a kind of a resounding thing is like the LT era and like a lot of, you know, you're Natron Means, I'm Natron Means. That was kind of when I got rolling in it. So it's just kind of cool to hear everyone's backstory of like how it happened. We've heard the craziest stories, like some of the European fans, how they became fans. Like there's no like direct path to becoming a fan if you live in Germany or Israel. We interviewed somebody from Israel, so it's kind of cool to find out what everyone's all about. Yeah.
I always wonder, how does someone from Israel or Australia become like a diehard Chargers fan? Like that, the story there, the connecting points, it's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It.
It's just these accidental happenstances where it's like somebody found a Charger pencil when they were in high school and I was like, all right, shit, this is my team. Or somebody like randomly came to San Diego on vacation and they happened to go to a game and it was the best time they've ever had. It's just kind of cool to hear how it all goes. But yeah, the podcast community is so much fun, man. And you guys do a great show. We really, really like listening to you guys. So tell us a little bit more about like Chargers Unleashed and like what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, man. We're having fun. So my co-host Jake Hefner and we've been doing Chargers Unleashed for a little bit over a year, about a year now. And then we actually were doing a podcast previously. I'll spare the details. There's a bunch of stuff that happened then.
Yeah, heard a little bit.
But we are living a much better life now with LAFB.
Good.
And yeah, man, it's a fun time. I mean, we do our best to try to stay authentic, to try to stay both optimistic as well as pessimistic, but always try to, got to keep it real.
The nice middle, kind of somewhere in the soft landing spot somewhere.
Yeah, so we balance each other out quite nicely.
Nice.
We try to do our best to kind of bring like refreshing takes. We try to bring player interviews, some discussions with special guests. We've had Dan Fouts on the show. We've had some guys on the team currently. We had Mike Williams recently. We've also had some of the kind of play-by-play guys. We've had Chris Harry. We've had Fernando. We've had play-by-play for the Cowboys. I mean, we had some fun. But I think that the goal is to really try to be a voice of and for the fans, just like you guys. There are so many different personalities within the Chargers fan base and the community. And I think sometimes people get a little pigeonholed with like, oh, Chargers fan base is toxic, or oh, Chargers fan base is, they're always crippled by just all of this torture that happens every single year. But like, there's a lot of everybody. They're the positive people. They're the folks who have been waiting 50 years for a Super Bowl. Like there's so much in common. And I think the common thread throughout both, not only Jake and I, but all the podcasts, as well as Chargers fans, is everyone is like so desperate to see this team win.
Yeah.
And like, it'll make it that much sweeter when we finally see that. And I do honestly think that we are closer now than they were before. And so with Chargers Unleashed, like the whole point of that is to try to bring stories and bring kind of that viewpoint from and to the listeners and viewers.
That's awesome. And yeah, you guys get some fantastic interviews. Like who is like, out of everyone you've gotten so far, when you got like the reply back, like I'm available, were you like, oh shit, it's going down?
Yes. There's been a couple where I think both of us has been like, whoa, like they said yes, like seriously?
Yeah.
Dan Fouts, I think, was a big one for us because, I mean, dude's a legend.
Yeah.
And just that definitely got a little starstruck at first. And I think during the episode, I was like, I'm still a little, in shock that I'm talking to Dan Fouts right now. And I think as he said something like, you'll get over it.
Yeah.
Dan Fouts was great. Drew Tranquil was great in the offseason. He was
like, I remember seeing it. He was like on like a massage table talking to you guys.
Yes. He literally was getting physical therapy.
Yeah.
Yes. But he's such a good dude and he's so genuine, and like his passion, I think, kind of gave us not just like an excitement for the team, but also just like a lot of life lessons that you kind of take for granted.
Sure.
And then probably, we had Jim Schroeder. That was kind of a big deal for us because like that guy's a legend.
Oh yeah.
And then honestly, recently, Rashawn Slater and Mike Williams, like those are the two who were like, wow.
Yeah.
Like Mike Dubs out here making everybody look silly with some of their comments that they had. And now he's on our show. Like, this is crazy.
That's awesome.
And just sorry, I was trapping hat. I was dying.
That's awesome.
Those are probably the ones that I would say were the most like awestruck or, oh snap, this is happening. Don't screw this up.
Yeah. Don't blow it. Like, oh shit, don't blow it. No, that's same. Yeah, same thing we had. The one we had that I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now was the Sean Merriman, and I was just like, Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Please, Kevin, don't blow it. So the luck, hopefully it wasn't too bad, but so
and Sean Merriman's been so great in the Chargers community recently, like in the last 6 months especially.
So involved. It's so cool to see a former player just come back and do so much for the fans. So it's fantastic. So I want to pick your brain a little bit about kind of the status, coming after these last 2 losses, getting this win. It wasn't the prettiest thing we've ever done, but we got it. Herbert balled out. Where do you think we stand right now, and what do you want to see us do moving forward into this Vikings game?
Oh, man. So, it's tough because I think with Chargers fans, rewind 3 weeks, we're forward 1, we're heading to clouds, we're the best team in the AFC, it feels like, and we're going to the Super Bowl. And then, we kind of come back down to earth, 2 losses, tough losses. The one to Baltimore really hurt. The one to Patriots, of course, hurt every Chargers fan. And it kind of gave us a little bit more humility. It also kind of showed us what we're good at, also what we are not good at. And, gritty win this week against Philly. I think it was an important victory to have on the road. That's a very hostile environment to win. And look, any game in the NFL can be lost. I mean, just talk to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they
9-6 to the Jaguars. That's nuts.
You lose the Jags 9-6. The Cowboys get blown out. Yep. I mean, the Bengals get smoked by the Browns. It happens. And so I'll take a win when I can get it. And the way that they won, in spite of a pretty poor defensive showing, especially on the defensive line and the interior defensive line. So in terms of where we stand, I kind of feel weirdly enough, the whole AFC, it feels, is kind of up for grabs. You think Tennessee is going to be the cream of the crop in Buffalo, then Buffalo loses. Tennessee loses Derrick Henry, but then they smoke the Rams. So you're kind of what's happening? To me, it kind of feels like the Chargers are in that second tier of AFC teams where they should be in the playoffs. I think nobody would want to see them, but I don't know if they are complete enough to where I can say I'm confident that they can win it all. Unlike you can say about teams like the Ravens, I think are a team where they're a juggernaut. The defense is always good. Look at the Titans, top to bottom, they're good. I know the Bills had a bad showing, but that team is loaded. The Chargers have a tremendous weakness, and that's the rushing defense. And if they can clean that up, I'm bullish more than most. But until we kind of see something change, it's hard for me to imagine us going into the playoffs where you see those physical teams and see us being able to overcome that, because Justin Herbert can only do so much. And the guy's a god. I mean, he's Thor. The guy does literally everything for this team. But he can only do so much. We don't have the ball.
Sure.
You saw what happened where we're giving up 7-minute, 8-minute drives to opposing teams. You can't win that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And the coach called him an immortal, I think, on his press conference recently. Holy shit, coach. I think we're all feeling it, but you say it. But yeah, I think there's definitely some truth there. And I don't think, for me, the run defense sucks. But we don't need to be the first ranked team against the let's go from 32 to 22. This is a team that's going to be hard. It's the same thing with special teams. Give me a run of the mill, just right down the middle defense and special teams, and we'll let our offense cook. So, but like you were saying, any given Sunday, man, anything can happen. We just need to have things shake up and go our way. So hopefully coach gets those improvements going, starts tweaking. This is the personnel we have, so there's no, trade deadline came and went. So make it work with these guys.
I will say this, and I know I'm generally known as kind of the optimist.
Good podcast to be on, then. We're glad to have you.
Here we go. Me and you, we got this. So if you look at kind of the lay of the land, Chargers' first portion of the season was an absolute gridlock. And for them to be able to come out of that above 500, let alone 500, but come out of that above 500 and be at 5-3 right now. Granted, any team can win any given Sunday, but the front half of their schedule was so much harder than the back half.
Sure.
And so should we beat the teams? Yes. But generally speaking, our strength of schedule is, I think, 4th easiest remaining. And the Bills are also in that category. But you look at other teams, the Raiders is horrible. They have to play 5 games that are against I think it's the Bengals, the Chiefs twice, the Cowboys. I forget who else, but they're in a good position. And the playoffs and the AFC West is ahead of them. And it's kind of in their grasp. And that's, I don't think, and people are getting all down about, we lost 2 in a row, we lost the Ravens, lost the Patriots. I'm dude, If you would have gone back to week 1 and said, fast forward, you're 5-3 winners or ahead in the AFC West, would you take it? 100% of this fan base would have said yes. And so, way we got there is different, but this team is set up for success. A coach who is just balling out right now. I love kind of his aggressiveness. And
he's playing Madden, man. He's got the joystick. He's playing Madden. He doesn't give a shit. I love it.
No, he's like, what timeouts? I don't even care.
Whatever.
4th down.
Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting, man. It's a great time to be a Charger fan. Hopefully they can keep rolling, getting better, and all that. So we really appreciate you coming on, Dan. And if you want to let everyone that listen to our podcast where they can find you, where they can check out your stuff.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Thanks again for having me. I love what you guys are doing. Say hi to the whole group for me.
Absolutely.
You can find me and the podcast at LAC_Unleashed. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere you find anything. You can find me at Chargers Homer, my co-host at Jake T. Hefner. Yeah, man, excited to see what you guys are doing. Love what you've done. And man, we got to get this game against the Vikings. I'll be there.
Me too.
I will be there.
Me too.
All right. We got to get a shot, drink.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Thunder Alley. I'll meet you in Thunder Alley.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you, man. And give your boy over there a Top Gun high five for me.
I will.
Okay. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. Top Gun high five. Top Gun high five.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you for coming on, man. That's it's a lot of exciting things to potentially look forward to, especially with this game. And yeah, that's all of this is awesome stuff, and so good to have other Charger podcasts on over here, because there's just so many good ones out there. Yeah,
I love it so much.
We all bring something different to the table, so it's awesome to
who's to say that the best one hasn't been started yet?
There you go.
You know, like us three knuckleheads, we're doing it
pretty
3 years,
average at best, in my opinion.
yeah. Who's to say there's not just some gym out there like, oh, should I start it? Oh, should I not? Do it. I'll listen.
Do it.
Sure.
The Mozart of Chargers podcasting. You may be it out there somewhere.
You may be. So that's, again, Dan, thank you for coming on and chatting with my man Huggin Duggin.
Yeah, and the one thing I did want to say is, like, they do such great interviews over there with all the players. Like the one with, I laughed so hard. It was just the setup of Tranquil on that massage table talking to these guys. I was like, this is awesome. So definitely they have some great content. So definitely go check them out.
Absolutely.
Jake and Dan over there, they do good work, and they do a cool thing where you can call in. They have a phone number where you can call in and leave a voicemail. So I dropped in on one of theirs the other day. It was pretty fun. Yeah, it was
a little trolling.
No, not trolling. Just want to see how they did how they celebrated their victory week. Do they go to the grocery stores and put carts away? Do they have extra brisket? Like what their vibe was. So I did learn that Jake doesn't always put away his fucking cart.
Shame, Jake.
Jake. Come on,
hey,
man.
We all have areas that we can improve in our life. That's yours right now.
We're always improving.
That's your area of emphasis.
Please just recognize it, understand it, and move forward. Get better. Okay.
It's like us with the run. It's like us beating our heads about the run defense not getting any better every week. You just got to learn from it and get better.
Practice makes perfect.
Learn from this.
Right.
Put your card away.
Be the better Jake today than you were yesterday. That's all we're asking you to do.
That's all we're asking.
Be the Jake that you need to be.
There you go. Thank you again, guys. And any final thoughts? I mean, we've got the Vikings on Sunday. Hopefully we fill that stadium up with Charger fans. I really want to see that, and I have a feeling that we will. Like
it's going to be better than last time. Last time they literally took 90% Vikings fans at our little soccer stadium. But I'm pumped. I'm going. I'm going to be in Thunder Alley. We're going to go early and go meet everybody. You can meet the Huggin Jr. and Coach Senior's joining us. So we're going to have Papa Duggin is going to be there rocking with us. So it'll be fun, man.
Three generations of Duggins in the
Thunder
Alley. in one stadium. That's gonna be pretty impressive, folks.
And I have 5
pins
Charger chat pins left. So
look at that.
These fuckers are coming with me. And if you find me, K Love You High still in effect. If I see you, K Love You High, and you're getting a pin.
There you go. Find any Duggin, whether it's Papa, Middle, or Youngin. and give him a K love you high, and get some photos over there, folks. I want to see everybody getting pictures with my man, because it always puts a smile on my face to see you guys interacting with us. So
can't wait to see you all. It's gonna be fun.
All right, it's going to be Sunday, folks. It's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. That's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
K love you, bye.
K love you, bye.
Look, buddy, K love you, bye.
It's ham. It's ham.
Par ham.
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 And now, a word from our sponsors.
Do you like golf? Do you like sandwiches? Do you secretly wish there was a way to combine these two great things? Well, now you can at Huggin Duggin's Golf Sandwich Shop, where we've synergistically combined the sport of golf and the meal of a sandwich. Check out some of our favorites. Obviously, the club sandwich, the meat golf ball sandwich, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and our personal favorite, the par ham and cheese. Get it? So come on down to Huggin Duggin's Golf Sandwich Shop. Open till 4